music. Okay. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Arcade Life. Eduardo here at New Wave headquarters. And we got our guests. Why is the volume going up? I thought I killed that. Nope. Hey, good evening, everyone.
Can you guys hear us okay? You sound okay to us, Eduardo. To me, anyways. I can't speak for Peter.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay. Hey, good day, everybody.
A delay. All right, I'm going to pump up the volume, and we're going to go for it.
Can you guys hear us okay?
Yeah, let's see. Chat.
Shiloh
says
okay
Shiloh
to us,
sounds
Eduardo.
good.
To me, anyways. I can't speak for Peter.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. Excellent.
Hey, good day, everybody.
Excellent.
Sound is
Welcome
good.
to Arcade Life, episode 2. We are here. We got Shilo in Canada tonight, and we have
Peter Hirschenberg. Is that correct?
Hirschberger.
Hirschenberger.
welcome.
I welcome. If Peter is our very special guest tonight.
There's Shilo's got a little distortion. We're going to lower him a little bit, but
Peter Hirschenberg. Is that correct? Hirschenberg.
Hirschberger.
Do I sound okay?
Hirschenberger.
Yeah, to me.
As long as they sound good to you, Peter, that's all that matters. Okay, well, I'm just going to start yapping. Everybody, I hope I sound okay. Good day, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that stuff. Really excited for this second episode of Arcade Life. We got Peter Hirschenberger joining us. I got that right, I hope, that time.
Nah, that's completely wrong.
Oh.
It's fine.
You just forget it. His name's
I was
Pete.
just messing with you before.
Why are they getting the echo?
Really excited for this second episode of Arcade. Is there a problem? Peter Hirschenberger joining us. I got that right, I hope, that time.
Nah.
Bitch to me.
But do you drive in that?
Well, my nephew's out driving around right now picking up some booze. So I'm really excited to have you on here. You've been a great help with the Timeout project.
Thank you.
We shared a link with you all of Peter's website. That's the Timeout Arcade homage, basically. But there's much more to the man. And we'll get into some updates today. But we also want to share some things about Peter. First of all, starting with his home arcade, which is absolutely incredible. The greatest home arcade I think I've ever seen in my life. So, Peter, we're going to show some photos of Luna City.
Okay.
I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can just talk about, how you got your home arcade together. Just so everybody knows that Peter refurbished all the arcade machines himself. So pretty impressive stuff, man.
It's amazing. These photos are incredible. Oh my God.
I actually
are the photos being shown? Because I don't see them.
They are. I can't get you the live feed. I don't have you through the chat thing. Only gets our cameras, unfortunately. Sorry about that.
Well, I already know what it looks like. So.
But I'm gonna run those again because. And you guys can keep talking about it. So what year was this set up in, Peter?
Well, I started collecting in the late 80s, I think, early 90s. I only had a few machines, and it just sort of exponentially got away from me a little bit. Ended up with about 80 or 90 machines. I got most of those from really nice family-run business, Coin Up Amusements. They were located in Hagerstown, Maryland for the longest time. Now they're in a record shop now.
Nice.
And I worked on weekends, moving machines around, helping customers in exchange for game credit for machines. And these were all just, as is. Some of them were just the wood, even, various stages of. It was very rare to get one that actually worked and needed nothing. But yeah, I would get I would see them come in, and I'd pick out ones that I wanted, and hopefully I got dibs on all the ones I wanted. And I was going home with every other week, maybe a cabinet or two cabinets. And it was just, it was so much fun and work to get them all running. And that filled up my basement really fast. And then I decided to go crazy and build I think it was 30 feet by 60 feet, two-story building out next to my house. It was actually the same size as the house. And I actually found a video. So I don't have the arcade anymore, and that's a long story, but
we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, it's ugly. I go to my website, peterhirschberg.com, and there's a link to a book I wrote about the whole thing. That'll tell you what happened. And it's free. You don't have to pay it. I don't make money off of that or anything. It's just a PDF, really. But I recently, like last week, maybe found a video that I had taken during one of my game days. Every now and then I'd hold a game day, and a lot of them towards the end were benefit game days to raise money for charities. And that's when it really felt like a real arcade, is when you had a couple hundred people in there milling around, and all the games were being played, and the sound of all those people talking. It's like this roar, almost like the sound. The only thing that exists like that today is if you go to a beach boardwalk and they've got one of those boardwalk arcades, and all the games in there are dumb, but you still get that sound of all these electronic machines and people talking and music playing, and it's a really cool sound, and it made me smile to hear it again.
I love how you had the two-story high ceilings with the artwork, the murals, and the pictures on the walls above the arcade machines and everything. Just amazingly well done.
Thank you. Yeah, the high ceilings, that was intentional, because when it was in my basement, it would get super hot in there really fast. And also, I didn't have room for posters above and artwork and stuff. So I wanted 12-foot ceilings, and it made it so that you could play the games longer before it got too hot, but it would always get too hot still. One of the game days we had three, I think, maybe three industrial air conditioner units pumping the air straight outside the windows.
How
It's
crazy.
still got too hot.
Wow.
But the game days, I mean, they were like incredible. We had like a moon bounce out front. We had porta potties. We had the yard roped off for people to park. We had um, uh, people selling food there. Like it wasn't a vendor; it was some neighbors that were using the proceeds for charity. Um, it was uh, it was it was pretty crazy and
You've been
fun and
you've been
crazy.
you've been covered on different news
Yeah.
channels and stuff like that. I know. I remember seeing your arcade on some sort of random YouTube video I was watching, and I was like, wow. And then now I know you, so it's pretty cool. So one of the things that we did with our play sets is we made them extra tall too, so you could put pictures of our mini Dirty Donnie posters and stuff like that above in your play set, right? So we kind of a little bit of uh, influence from your yeah. So that's really cool and very impressive that you worked on all those machines yourself. I wanted to ask you in particular, and now I can't remember what it's called. Forget it. It's too bad it can't be the pictures, but oh well. I hope you guys enjoyed those. So also now with Time Out, why don't you tell us a little bit about your website and how you got started with that, and what made you get started with that?
Yeah. So I run a website called timeoutarcades.com. And um, I started that because that was the arcade I went to when I was when the big arcade boom hit. And it was colorful, it was dark inside and glowy, and it was just such a magical place. It was, you'd step out of the department store atmosphere of the mall and you'd step into this like tunnel of glory, and it was just so amazing with all the games and the people playing them, and there was a haze in the air because back then people would smoke in the mall.
Right.
Everyone
um
could smoke indoors back then.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I wanted to create a website and a guest book so people could sign it that also remembered it. And I've actually found that people have been signing it that used to work there, and that's cool. And I and yeah, I kind of want to do a little bit more with it one day, but I had only found a few pictures that I was able to share, and you'll see those on the website. They're crazy if you haven't seen them yet. They've been all around the internet since then, but
Yeah. So I got a funny little story. So Eduardo's sitting in front of a Space Invaders machine that we just procured, and it's interesting because it's mint condition first of all, and in fact, we got to thank our friend Vince for helping us with this at Arcade 86. But he somehow somebody uh, contacted him and said they had some old arcade machines that they wanted to get refurbished and stuff like that, and sell them. So Vince bought them, and he immediately thought of us because we're basically collecting every large machine that we make a miniature of. And it turns out that the people he bought it from were friends with the owner of Golf and Stuff. And if you remember Golf and Stuff from the Karate Kid movie, this echo's driving me crazy, by the way. But as long as you guys aren't hearing it, I guess it's okay. But it's just really interesting that we got these mint condition arcade machines from golf and stuff. And Eduardo, if you want to just show that card, it's
from 1980 when it was serviced, and it looks like they purchased them a little after the movie was shot, which is it's just crazy. It's a great piece of history.
They were switching over to more ticket redemption stuff, but they wanted to keep the original arcade machines in there to shoot the movie. However, I don't recall seeing the arcade machines in the movie, but I'm going to watch it over the holidays and see if I can find them. Yeah, but still pretty neat little piece of history, kind of in the same vein as Time Out.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Now you have an echo too, Eduardo. But
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have the providence or whatever it's called for where all my machines came from. I think a couple of them had, operator tags on them, but I never found anything as cool as what you found on that.
Yeah,
that
I
machine.
mean, we're the coolest, so it's pretty hard to beat. I'm just kidding. So Peter, you're fascinating to me because not only can you repair arcade machines and pinball machines, but you also designed a game, a sequel to one of my all-time favorites, which was Battlezone.
Mhm.
And it's Battlezone 2, and we have a little footage, thanks to Glenn's Retro Show. Thanks, buddy. We're stealing this. We're going to show it to you. And Peter, if you want to tell us a little bit about this?
And again, this game has a lot of different power-ups in it.
It's am I gonna talk over the video?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah,
Okay.
just show us gameplay.
Yeah, yeah, I had a game many years ago on the iPhone called Vector Tanks. And Atari took it down. But I still wanted a personal copy that actually ran on a computer so that I could put it in my Battlezone cabinet that I had. And so I started it from scratch again. And just it's like Battlezone, but it runs faster. There's multiple enemies. There's power-ups. There's like physics. You can feel the tank, or not feel it, but you see the tank like tilting and shifting as you move around. Particle effects that are better than that were in the original game. And it's color.
Weapons.
Sorry, what was that, Shilo? It cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying there's different weapons added in, which is really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, the power-ups give you like rapid fire and heat-seeking missiles, or some sort of seeking missiles. I don't know if it's heat or not. Use your imagination.
Hi, Mom. You got a drink there for me?
Just a little beverage.
Look, my mom got me.
Oh, wow.
Anybody else care for one?
That's my mom, everybody.
Hi, Flo.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, everybody. Nice meeting you all.
Thanks, Mom.
You betcha.
All right, I'll be up a minute later. Woo, that's strong. Whew. You're going to be hammered here.
She's already taking care of you. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love Battlezone. Funny little tidbit was when we were kids, it was one arcade we always hung out here in Saskatoon. It's called King's Arcade. And then we, of course, were friends with the attendants that worked there. And I remember one day specifically asking, what game makes the most money? And this is long after Battlezone came out, probably 5 years, you know. When did Battlezone come out? 81?
81.
Yeah, so this is probably around 86, 87, something like that. and it was still Battlezone was the game that was the highest draw, if you can believe it.
That's
So
cool.
there was something special about putting your head up to the periscope and playing it, and the sound effects, and it just worked really well.
I remember the first time I saw that game. They had, I think, 3 next to each other lined up, and so I actually in Luna City I had 2 of them side by side to kind of recreate that, multiple game experience. It's pure overkill.
Yeah.
Did
Any
you ever-
arcade here, I will tell you, never had more than one of anything. But it's funny. We're going to start looking at the timeout video photos here pretty soon. And I recall from like magazines like Electronic Gaming Monthly, pictures of timeout specifically. It was the burgundy rug. I just remember looking at it and being like, wow, these arcades were incredible. And then there would be other arcades that had 10 Miss Pac-Mans lined up, all the same. It's kind of like what you're saying with the 3 battle zones.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So I did the Battlezone game. I've done a couple games. I think somebody was actually mentioning on Facebook, you guys should do the game Bishop of Battle. I think I sent you a copy. I don't know if you ever got a chance to try it, but
I have. You did, but I have not had a chance yet.
yeah, it's based on a movie called Nightmares, which is an anthology with I forget how many segments in it, and one of the segments is about an arcade game called Bishop of Battle. It's got Emilio Estevez in it, which is pretty cool. Totally corny, but how many movies are there just about an arcade game? Anyway, there's some really actually forward-looking graphics that are pretty cool looking in the movie. And so I recreated a game that you could kind of play based on what you're shown in the movie. It's not a fully fleshed out concept in the movie, but I filled in some gaps and took some liberties, and it's pretty cool. If you ever want to do a little 1/6 scale Bishop of Battle.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch the movie first, I think.
Well, we'll wait.
And go
watch it.
You never know.
Emilio Estevez. Wow, that must have been an early one.
Yeah.
I love him. I mean, I don't love him, but I love a lot of the movies that he was in. Maximum Overdrive comes to mind. Obviously, Young Guns, and of course, Repo Man.
The definitive LA movie.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of bounce around here a little bit, and we're going to show an update of a couple arcade machines that we're working on. Golden Key and Crystal Castle. If you want to get those picks there going.
Yeah, we're going to do the Golden Tees right now.
Okay. So here's where we're at. We finished tooling, and the games are pretty dialed in. And remember, we're 6 games here on the cab, and also the full size controllers. We had a little bit of a snafu. They bored the bolts too low, so the weight of the trackball actually broke through the top panel, and something obviously will correct for production, but we had to make some modifications to start testing these. So but everything's looking good, but we're almost at the end of the year here, so production's going to get pushed out a little bit. I think we'll be starting in kind of around the end of February with Crystal Castle. If you want to show those updates next.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We'll just go right into those. Now, we had to make a number of updates, and I think everything's pretty much on point now. So we're going to start fueling and hopefully go right from Golden Tea production right into Crystal Castles in Q3 Q1 early next year. So there's some good picks there. Those are the prototypes. Everything's looking good.
Man, I got to get you a mic, Shilo. We gotta get pro here with our audio gear for the next one.
Well, I don't understand.
I apologize for the chat. I know it's a little choppy, but I'm adjusting the levels manually as best I can on my end here. But very cool. Very cool. They're looking
Yeah, I
good.
apologize if I'm not sounding good. I don't know why. We usually use this built-in microphone and everything sounds all right.
Cool. All right.
Are we okay to keep?
Yeah, we're okay to keep going.
Okay. All right. So there's a couple quick updates. I mean, we don't have a lot of time here today, and we're starting kind of late. It's actually already past 9 o'clock here, and I think it's past 10 where Peter is. But we definitely wanted to do this and get together one more time before Christmas and the holidays. So on that, we do have a black hole pinball update also, but we don't really have anything to show today because the prototype looks like it's finished, but all the images we got from China are just not good. They're fuzzy and they're hard to see. So we will do a email update here in the next couple of weeks with everybody and show how it's looking. But honestly, I couldn't tell too much from the photos that we were planning on showing today. Prototypes are running a couple weeks late, but we're just trying to get everything perfect and dialed in. So it's close. But again, those photos just weren't suitable to show today. So they're just too blurry.
A couple requests in the chat about the BMX bikes. Any updates on how those are progressing or
yeah.
assortment?
So the BMX Mongoose bikes are actually, the tooling is finished and we're ready to go. But we're focusing right now on the arcade ambience, arcade playset stuff. We've been so busy, guys. It's no excuse, but we really haven't done enough justice on explaining what everything does and showing more images of cabs and what you can do with the playsets. So we're going to focus on that, and we're going to run the pre-sale actually through January. And at that time, we're going to have a lot more time to show you guys and explain everything, because it is a lot to digest. We understand that, but we want to touch on it a little bit today and definitely show you guys more great images from Timeout Arcade. Thanks to Peter. These are photos that are not on his website. And we're just going to go through them and give you a glimpse back in time of the Timeout Arcade. Now, Timeout Arcade, as far as I know, was probably the first chain arcade. Peter, you can pipe in here if I'm saying misinformation. But
I'm not sure if it was the first or not, but I mean, to me it was. So
yeah. So it started off on the East Coast, right?
Yeah. And it spread out from there.
Yeah.
And I was on the East Coast, so I probably saw one of the very first ones. But yeah,
spread out from there was also acquired by Sega
right.
at one time,
and Namco too, I think.
And then Namco after that.
Yeah.
So pretty major ownership. And I'm not sure how many stores they had total, but they basically had 3 different brands that were in malls and freestanding I believe across the whole country. Now, I know there was a time out in Beverly Center that Fast Times at Ridgemont High was filmed at. The little tidbit of it
Oh,
in
wow.
the movie. Yeah,
I forgot about
no
that.
pictures of it here, but just awesome color colorways they used, and they had all uniform signage, right? Like the house rules, which is pretty famous, and again, Peter recreated that. So you could actually pull it off his timeout website, or you can buy our magnetic signs set that has the same stuff. I mean, it was such a big thing that they actually had their own garbage cans that were pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Interesting note about that house rules sign. At some point when they were doing Tron Legacy, I was contacted by some mysterious person on the internet who wanted to know if he could borrow or rent some of my posters in my arcade in Luna City. And he was asking for a link to download I think the link had broken. He was asking for a link for the house rules sign. And I said, "Oh, here's the link." And sure, I mean, you can just borrow the posters. I'll mail them to you. And he gave me where is it in Canada where they make all the movies? I forget.
Vancouver.
Yeah. Uh, he gave me an address up there, and I was like, "You're making the not the timeout, the Neutron movie, aren't you?" And he's like, "Ah, you got me," and blah blah blah. And I almost got my machines from my arcade to get shipped up there too for the movie, but they found some local guy. Darn it!
Oh, wow.
So that was a cool little thing about my house with son. They changed it a little bit for the movie, but you can see it when he's in his dad's arcade. You can see some modified version of the artwork I did for that.
That's awesome. But there's another movie too. It was Wonder Woman, right?
Wonder Woman 84, yeah. And
They
that was
recreated
that was a recreated one, but the fact that they recreated it is pretty cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know it was only in there for a fleeting second. But you can see
why
them all.
couldn't they have inserted like 5 or 10 more seconds of their precious movie time to the front or the inside of the arcade?
I mean, you go through all that trouble to recreate a
like they did the whole
right?
And they did the whole front arch, and they did the bulkhead inside where it says Family Amusement Center and all this stuff. And then it's just like a blur as they go pan the camera past it all.
Yeah. Nothing but money to burn, I guess. Still pretty cool they put it in there.
Yeah.
And especially in a mall. You know.
Yeah.
I always liked mall arcades. Especially growing up here, it was freezing outside, right? It was always nice to go out and you're in the mall, not in the freezing cold.
Yeah, I mean, not here where I am right now, but here where I lived at the time, down in Virginia, that was, I mean, okay, so there were two things you would do. You could go to a little strip mall, and they'd have pretty much every game's in there. Or you could go to the mall and there'd be a timeout. And pretty much every mall you'd go to in Virginia had a timeout somewhere in the maze of stores. So that was always the first thing I did. And yeah, I agree. The mall arcades were more immersive, I think.
They seem to be a little nicer too. I mean, the mall arcade would be more where you would find the nice UV carpets, black lights. You go a little bit nicer rather than the street arcade or going down some sketchy stairs, going somewhere, billiards.
Yeah, I feel like there was. It's not. This is a generalization, but I feel like most of the newer games, like the brand new games that had just come out, I'd always see it time out, and then it would take them a little while to get to the little strip mall places.
Oh, that you think the mall got them first
Yeah.
or second?
Yeah, I mean, I would go in every time and like there was always something new. And that was the best part is like, oh, what have they done now? Like, oh wow, color vectors. Wow. And
Yeah.
Battlezone where it was 3D and it was just a magical time. It's hard to explain to like I try and get well, my kids are into it, but it's hard to explain like the what it was like to live through that time.
Yeah, it is. It's hard for people to grasp how there was no internet. There was going to the arcade. That's how you found out
There was a
about new.
lot of boredom.
Yeah, and there were no consoles. Like the consoles were like the 2600 and ColecoVision and none of like they could give you a copy of Pac-Man for those consoles, but it wasn't anything like the the real machine.
Oh, those 2600 games were
And
horrible.
it took a long time for computers to catch up to what those arcade games could do in the 80s, early 80s, late 70s even.
Well, that
It
was
wasn't
the whole point of the consoles, right? It was always like trying to get to where the arcade was.
yeah.
And they finally probably got there with the Dreamcast, if you ask me. And then the home console surpassed the arcade at that point. Right? You guys agree with me, right?
Oh,
Come
no,
on.
definitely. Definitely. There's nothing like it.
Did I answer the question about the BMX, Mike? If I didn't, during tooling and we're just waiting to finish our focus on the arcade ambient stuff. And by the way,
that was it. Yeah, there was that, and then folks are asking about the spectator monitor.
Yeah, spectator monitor is going to be next year. Oh, hey, Mom. Oh, my mom's back here. Hold on a second.
Anybody for a snack?
You guys want a snack?
Oh, wow.
Cheesies here.
So you got a drink coming?
Charcuterie?
Big surprise coming up next.
Really wish you were here.
Thanks, Mommy dear.
Wow.
Of course.
Wow, spoiled
Yeah.
over there. I love it.
Yeah.
We're pretty spoiled over here. That's the way we like it. I only come back once a year, so I get pretty spoiled. So it's good. Yeah, it's funny being here because I remember, we lived here since 1980. In 1979, actually. So this whole room, you guys can you can check it out. All the cedar paneling.
No, it's nice.
Me and my uncle actually did that, and that's not paneling. That's tongue and groove. All of it. It's all original, and I think it still looks amazing. Really, really, that's a nice cozy room. So down here we've gone through about probably 10 different TVs, over the years and stuff. And I was never allowed to plug anything into the TVs. There was only one TV. So I had my Vectrex up in my room, and that was about it until I moved out of here when I was 19. So that's just a little on my history. Actually, my mom, who's standing here lurking over, used to be a cosmetology instructor at a local school called Kelsey Institute. And I used to like going there for two reasons. One is I could get a ride home. Actually, three reasons. Number two, there's lots of pretty girls there that wanted to learn about cosmetology and stuff. And number three is there was an arcade.
Sure was.
Yeah, there was an arcade, and I got really good at karate camp. I could go one quarter. I could play for about 20 minutes on karate camp. I remember playing it in that little college arcade there, And in case my mom left without me, I would always go stick a little stick in her windshield wiper, so she knew I was in the arcade, not to leave without me. Eh, Mom?
That was the code. I love it.
Just tell her. What did you say, Mom?
I said you never went to school. All you did was play videos.
Was I skipping school?
You may want to call it
That's it.
that.
The truth of the hours at the arcade comes
proud
out.
of.
But it got him where he is today. That's what counts, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Mommy.
So let's go on.
Yes. So those were the good old days. That's funny thinking back about that. But yeah, I hated school personally. I really didn't like school very much. So I definitely loved arcade machines and video games.
The other update folks are asking about in the chat is skee ball. If there are any plans for pre-sale, or how soon, or how late, or what's going on with skee ball.
Yeah, so going back to BMX, we're really close. I mean, we're going to do a pre-sale and get those into production right away as soon as we know how many to order. Now with skee ball, we finished a second prototype. Turned out really great. We got a new function in there. It's going to be a little surprise, and we'll launch that pre-sale here pretty soon after the arcade ambient stuff, and then we're going to reshift our focus back on arcade video game machines, and also a couple other pinball machines with our new license, Poly Williams license, that we're really excited about. So that's kind of a little bit of a picture of next year.
Okay.
And just going back to the play sets, we've been working on this project for years, literally. So very shortly after we launched our first couple arcade tabs, we dropped the carpet, right? The UV carpet. And we've sold a lot of those, lots and lots of them. And it's always been the thought of, now how do we add walls? What do we do? I mean, these carpets work great, but and it's awesome. Everybody in the community makes their own walls and their own stuff, and we love that. But it was always like, well, what can we do? And we quite literally went through about 3 different concepts, put it on the shelf for a while. We had this plastic one that opened up, and it had a light on it and stuff, but it was just so janky and so much plastic. It was like awful. And finally, it came back to like, all right, let's make these. Basically, it's like a game board that folds open, and it has metal strips inside it. And with those metal strips, they're in different spots. So you can put signage up high, posters up high. There's going to be a whole more magnetic accessories coming that we're going to show you after the holidays here. We have this already, actually. We have things like payphones that stick to the wall. We actually included a picture of a payphone in your Luna arcade, Peter, and that's actually the same payphone that we replicated, for our stuff.
That's
But we
cool.
have doors, a fire hydrant, all sorts of really fun things. But my absolute favorite thing is the AC port that work with games that we started Ghosts and Ghouls, Ghouls and Ghosts. We started adding the Pro AC cable, and these actually plug in there. And it's also magnetic, so you can put them wherever you want. Those come with the play sets.
Yeah, so now they can plug in the fake plug into the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, and it all looks in scale, right? And it's funny, we don't have time today, but we'll probably show you in the next podcast or something. the first iteration of the timeout, unless you want to grab it, Eduardo, that main piece you could show it, the shadow box.
Oh, the big one?
The shadow box with the lights in it. And
yeah, let me grab it. I think I have
yeah,
it over here.
Yeah, actually, it would be fun to show you guys that because we're pretty excited about it, but it was going to be so expensive to make it, and with all the built-in lights and everything, and really all it was a backdrop, right? So it's funny. I emailed Peter through his website, and probably for what did you say, Peter? Last 9 months, we kind of been working together.
This big one, Shilo.
Yeah.
So let me.
Yeah. So there it is. Yeah, turn it on. Yeah, see, it's three-dimensional. And you can see that the light is the timeout light is.
So this is a big one. I mean, it's thick.
You know how thick it is? And then there's actually
It's
little.
got to weigh at least 15 pounds.
Yeah.
This is a big boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other one I have in the other the new one, I do have in the other room, but I think we have to get batteries for the light.
Or it needs to be charged.
Oh, it's a charge.
Yeah. That's okay. I just wanted to show that one. Thanks, Eduardo.
No, you got it.
But it's just funny how things progress, you know. And when Peter got involved with the project, he's like, well, you know, what about, you know, the second piece? And how about opening those up? And then you could pop out the centers and you can make it three-dimensional, stuff like that. So Peter, you're responsible. You're the man.
I don't want to be responsible, but
No, not responsible. I mean, it's a good thing.
No, when you sent the folders of all the photos, I
yeah,
think
those are secret.
Shilo spent 3 days, 5 days in silence just going through them, and we didn't hear from him. We're like, is Shilo okay? Like, what's going on? Or,
Yeah.
oh, hopefully he's not sick, or all right. And then he's like, man, I have just been spending countless hours dissecting these photos. And then he shared the link, and I ended up like doing the same thing. It's just, it's a great nostalgic trip down memory lane in a weird way.
Have we shown those photos now at this point?
Yeah, no, the Timeout Arcade, definitely.
Okay.
They're incredible.
So,
and then the attendant ones too. That you
did
sent
you show
me.
those already?
I did a little, but here, let's put them up again.
So this is our first action figure, and of course it's an arcade attendant, an employee for Timeout. Come on, how cool is that? So check it out. His name is Ricky, and it's just his name is Ricky just because it's funny. I don't know why. It is funny to me, so we went with it. But check out those photos. You can see how authentic the uniform is.
The uniform and the chain.
Yeah, I have to give props to a big shout out to my friend Jeff Perlin, who worked at Timeout and was able to explain because you had a lot of questions that I couldn't answer about the uniform, the details of the uniform, like what was this bag for, what is this thing, and he was able to help us with that. So big shout out to him, because sometimes the pictures don't tell you, like, okay, it's a bag on his belt, what is it used for, and where do you keep the money, and where do you keep the change and the etc. So,
yeah, that was a big help. I was like, what is this blue pouch, man? What the
yeah,
heck?
I didn't know.
But I guess that's where they kept the cash. That's where they kept the bills.
Yeah, you had bills, you had coins, and then you had to do shifts with the till, and I'm sure like once they hit a certain amount of bills, they had to walk it off the floor.
And in fact, they needed to be bonded. Is that right, Peter?
And here, what did they need?
They needed to the employees needed to be bonded.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read that on your website. Oh, hey, Mom.
Well, it's been a while.
This is very deep.
Burn.
He's getting spoiled tonight.
I've got a half a box of Pop Tarts.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Enjoy.
Mm,
And
thank
if you
you.
guys come over, you can help.
I should
Yeah.
come over.
Wait till Christmas Day comes, eh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mommy dear.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Chad is asking about stools. Are stools coming back? Is there going to
Ooh.
be a restock? Any plans for that tied in with these other arcade accessories?
Yep. In fact, they're done. We just don't have time right now to launch them. So that'll be something we drop in January.
Okay.
We got some more limited edition ones, and we also have an overhaul edition with complete with duct tape.
Wait. You did overhaul stools?
You know that. Don't play dumb. There's I don't know,
I gotta
5,000
say
of them in the warehouse.
the faux oxidation, the rust and the chafing.
It's pretty
looks
cool.
Really good.
You guys will like it.
And the little duct tape accessories that are optional that you can put on to make it look like you're fixing a rip.
See?
It's right up there with the bubble gum and the slurp packs. It's
there you go.
It's a unique.
Yeah, all these things are really fun to do. All these accessories, but going back to the timeout attendant, I think it's so funny they call them special officers.
Yeah.
And it just makes me think of Scary Movie, right? Special Officer Doofy. I just laugh every time, man, because it's so funny, Special Officer.
I mean, I guess it's the same kind of deal as like sales associate, you know. I guess maybe it was maybe they didn't like to be called change attendants, or that was for regular arcade timeout, you know, being a family amusement center and all.
Gotta have special officers.
Special officers, yeah.
Yeah, you're awesome. We went through the uniform with a fine tooth comb, right? Oh, there's a badge on the shoulder. You go find some more old images, and we would find that they actually all had a clicker, you know, for how many people were in the shop. What else is there?
like a bouncer.
Yeah.
Well,
I used to actually use one of those when I was the bouncer, which is funny enough.
You got to do the head count.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
little
Fire chief comes in.
chest badge, I remember that was tough to crack because there's only one good picture.
Yeah.
And it's not good. It's fuzzy.
Yeah,
and I
we through it.
stared at that thing for days, and I'm like, I know what it is, because I was looking at badges and comparing them, trying to see if I could make some sort of correlation. I'm like, it's an eagle at the top of the badge, just like a police badge would have.
Yeah.
You could see his little feet sticking out in the blurry mess that was the picture, and that was a big revelation. So glad we figured that out, because I mean, it's only tiny on Ricky, right? But
Very tiny.
It's the attention to detail that makes me love you guys.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for all the help, man. It's funny how many
Yeah,
times we went back
absolutely.
and forth, and we're like, what is this and what's that?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, how could I not help you guys? Like, I love timeout, and somebody actually wants to recreate in 1/6 scale, like you can configure it and put little real operating games in it. I mean, this is the coolest thing ever. Of course, I would help you.
So, I mean, it's for guys like you, Peter, that love arcade, love everything about it.
Yeah.
And we actually never had time to show. I had one more group of photos. Maybe we'll do it on the next episode. But it's all of people inside the timeout arcades and the expressions on their faces playing their game and how good the women used to look back then. Ooh, awesome. And I mean, the look of agony on some of the kids. Cross the border or whatever, it's just pretty great.
So is there the possibility of a book timeout book? Has that ever been discussed, Peter? Thought of?
Yeah, there's this whole complicated thing with the pictures, which is
Yeah.
why I was like, they're secret. And don't want to get into it on this, but
No.
it would be great if there was a coffee table book with timeout pictures in there. Yeah, I would buy it. I mean, who
I would
wouldn't?
too.
It would be a very colorful and vivid, I think, book. Yeah.
I
These
think it'd be
vintage
cool to
photos
do
are
like an
just-
Encyclopedia Britannica series where each book is a different arcade chain or location, you know, where it's just the history, because man, it's going to be lost. All this history is going to be lost if it's not recorded.
Yeah, well,
and
I'm a preservationist, and this is why I did my whole arcade and why I make things like the Battlezone 2 game and helped you guys. And I wrote, like I just, uh, I want, and my kids are into this kind of stuff too. You know, they love games like Dig Dug and Pac-Man and they, because they grew up with me having all these machines around, they didn't think there was anything unusual about that. I guess they thought every family had lots of video games and stuff. Um, uh, and that's passing it on, me doing my part to try and pass it on to the next generation. But yeah,
it's incredible that
it's got to be preserved, man. It really does.
it's very unique that there's so many of these photos that you have, because they're all basically timeout, but some of them are station break, which was another sub chain of timeout, right? And then also station break. What's the other one?
Spaceport.
Spaceport.
Yep.
That's it.
That's the one with the cool training video.
We have to get a training video posted up on our YouTube, Eduardo.
Oh, I know.
They have a full
I'll
staff
pull up the
training
link.
video.
I should pull that up. That Spaceport one it's oh my god, it's so good.
It's fantastic.
It's like an old, what they call those film reel. It's like a slideshow, but they used to be called film reels, and it would be a spool of film, and you would put in a cassette for the audio, and it would like beep when you're supposed to change it to the next image, and that was their training program. Well, someone put that on video, and here we are years later. It ended up on YouTube. I saw it for the first time,
Pretty
I
awesome.
want to say like 5-6 years ago, and it blew my mind. It's so
It's really
entertaining.
great.
It's so good.
You guys will have to watch it. It's really great.
Speaking of the uniforms and all that stuff.
You brought me another drink.
This
Oh my
one's
god.
to everybody out there.
Cheers to everybody. Merry
Cheers, everyone.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Nice meeting you guys.
No, likewise, Flo. Merry Christmas. You need
Merry
to come up.
Wow, this one's even better than the last one.
Oh, Proxys mix perfect, right?
You keep them coming, Mom.
Oh my god.
Keep
So
them
we're just hitting the first hour, Shilo. I know
Okay.
Peter's time. I don't know if he can keep going or if we need to let him go.
You got a couple more Peters? You got a couple more Peters minutes there, Peter?
A couple more minutes, yes.
Okay.
But I am winding down. It's like 11 o'clock here, and I
Yeah.
drove
Yeah.
8 hours today.
Definitely. So we have a couple trivia questions for you guys and some giveaways.
Ah.
Question number 1. Get ready. What's the first prize? I think it's a cigarette machine. Get your cigarette machine too, by the way, guys. There's a code that's, I think, expired. We'll probably keep it going until tomorrow afternoon. That's the cutoff for any orders. But the first question is, okay, this is for, hold on a second. Let me find my thing here.
I'm gonna grab a pen real quick while you announce that.
Okay.
Write down the winner.
We're going to wait for you to come back because the first correct answer is going to win a cigarette vending machine. So we got to wait for him to come back. And we're going to give away 3 things. We'll give away a cigarette vending machine. We're going to give away an Artemat machine. And we're going to give away one of our last Coca-Cola vending machines. It's all vending machines today, 3 of them. And there's not going to be any more Coke vending machines, guys. So if you want to, I suggest you order it because we are running very, very low. And Eduardo here.
Maybe he was running to the store to get a pen.
He's gone to Staples.
All right, let's write down this winner.
Okay, so the very first question is for a cigarette vending machine for Archer. What is the name of Peter's awesome home arcade? You're going to have to use your memory.
All right.
We mentioned it earlier in the show. I can't.
Yeah, no, I'm watching the chat here. So the question again is, what was the name of Peter's home arcade that we talked about at the beginning of the podcast? Wow, that's the first time I've seen the chat this dead.
Wow! You got to be
we
paying
got a winner.
attention.
We got a
Oh!
winner.
Somebody is paying attention.
Thank you, person who paid attention.
All right.
Who was it, Eduardo?
Susan Walred.
All
Oh,
right.
wait. That's my wife.
Oh.
Disqualified.
The next person to type in Luna City wins.
But you know what? We'll
Susan.
send one to your wife as well.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sure she wants a cigarette machine.
Well, or an Artomat, right? I mean, I don't know.
Actually, I know Susan loves
Or
our
a change
Zoltar.
machine.
Okay, all right, so we need another person to write Luna City, please, in the chat, and they'll win.
I'm sorry, Susan. No
I
cheating.
love it. I
That's
love it.
funny.
That's my wife Jen would do the same thing.
So,
I
so
absolutely
that means
adore
nobody
it. I
was
love
paying
it.
attention to what I was talking about.
I swore I mentioned it. I did it on purpose because we thought of these questions like, let's make sure they were paying attention to what we were saying, right?
Yeah.
So, that said, what is the name of the sequel of the game that Peter designed? Now, if you don't get this, we're never doing another one of these ever again.
All right. Hold on. Sorry. I'm.
What was the name of the game of a very popular sequel? In fact, one of my favorite games that Peter designed.
All right, the game. So Biggie D was the first one to type in Luna City. So congratulations to Biggie D
All right,
on the Sig
Biggie D.
machine. And the game, the first one to guess it is Todd Walhood.
All right,
So,
Todd.
Todd, excellent. Congratulations. Again, I will put that email again. Just shoot us an email at customersupport@newwavetoys.com. I'll put that in the chat again. And be honest, folks, but I'll definitely look it back up in the chat. And, of course, I'm writing down your name.
Congrats, Todd.
So we got 2 winners. So Biggie D gets the cigarette machine, and Todd wins that was the Artomat, right?
Yep. Oh, by the way, those are almost gone too.
Yeah,
FYI.
I know. Artomats are selling out. Those are probably going to be gone by Monday at this point. They're moving fast. So if you want an
Come
Artomat,
on, you guys, get your fucking orders in.
yeah, get them in because.
All right. Yeah, we're shutting down here tomorrow. Noon is the order cutoff. We're closed for a couple weeks. Now here's the final question for the Coke vending machine. Where was the original location of our Space Invaders arcade cabinet that we got it from, that we talked about earlier in the show?
That's a hard one.
And if you can read real tiny, you can cheat, but
It's from the movie Karate Kid. It was actually in Cobra Kai too.
oh wow.
It's where they went on their first date. Danielson's daughter and whatever.
And we got a winner.
Oh, thank God.
T-Bone. Was it? Yeah. T-Bone Aljax. Guessed golf and stuff.
Good job, T-Bone All Jacks.
Awesome. So this is a Coke, an Art, and a Sig.
And that's it.
And that is it. I'm going to put the email address in there again, folks. If winners, if you email before our cutoff at noon tomorrow, I will personally get that out tomorrow. If not, we'll happily hold it and we will ship it to you in January. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. There we go.
Yeah,
email in the chat. Peter, it's been great. I feel this is going to be the first of many. I promise I'll get this audio BS worked out for the next one. I'm just excited we were able to get him at his old childhood home together with his mom in the basement. He's been talking about it for a minute now, so I'm so glad we were able to make it happen.
Thanks, guys.
And then January is going to be a good one. We'll probably have some more show and tell. Maybe I'll build the play sets so we can show those since the pre-sales being extended, correct? We're
definitely
extending
we've got much more to show you guys on that.
But yeah, we want to do some show and tell on that so everyone can understand the size, the magnitude, the weight, and why the boxes are going to be ginormous and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Congrats to the winners, everyone. On my behalf, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, and of course, have an amazing New Year. And we have so much more stories and stuff to dive into with Peter. So I thank you for being
Peter,
here.
thank you.
I'm really looking forward to having you back again in 2025. And lastly, Shilo, I know you have a sign off. I promise I won't shave it off this time. But if you want to send us out, we'll go ahead and call it a night.
You shave off my sign off last time?
I friggin' hit the fade and it went way too fast and I felt like an ass. So
okay,
we need to make this happen so it can become a regular thing.
Yeah, for sure. Again, Peter, Eduardo, thanks. He's at the office still. Thanks for staying late tonight and doing this. Totally. Peter, thanks again for joining us. You drive in and stuff. Have a safe trip and have a great holiday, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. And here's the sign off. In the meantime, and in between time, that's it. Another edition of Arcade Life. Adios.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
You too.
Bye.